well, Jays fans, we got to put the parade, organization on hold for a couple more hours because the LA Dodgers, they're still alive. We're going to a Game 7 tonight. Let's see how we got to this point. Top of the third, Will Smith facing Kevin Gausman, and he rips one down the left field line. That brings home Tommy Edman. It is 1-0 LA. Staying into third, Mookie Betts saying he's been going through it. Well, guess what? He woke up a little bit. Hit the left field. That'll bring in Shohei Ohtani and Smith. It is suddenly 3-0, but the crowd was not out of it. Same inning. George Springer brings in Addison Barger, and it is now a 2-run game, and it stayed that way for quite some time until the bottom of the ninth, to be exact. Jays rally, unfortunately, coming up short. We could talk about the ball being wedged under the pad, but then we have to talk about this. The double play, Addison Barger, a little bit too aggressive there, and the game ends just like that. We now go to a Game 7 tonight. It'll be Max Scherzer versus, to be announced, most likely Shohei Ohtani for the Dodgers. Now, for more on tonight's Game 7 contest between the Jays and the Dodgers, we're joined live by former Toronto Blue Jays player Rance Mulliniks, or as you were to your grandkids yesterday, the Scarecrow for Halloween.
That was it, yes. We had some fun last night.
Oh, for sure. And I'm assuming you keep track of the Jays. Obviously, you won a World Series with them in '92. What did you take from that game as a ball player?
Well, it was a tough way to lose the ball game last night. Up to that point, it had been a clean baseball game. The Blue Jays had pitched very well. They gave themselves a chance to win it. I thought last night they a little unlucky with the ball wedging in the left field gap, because the runner Straw, most certainly we can assume he would have scored, and that makes it a 1-run game. That changes the situation. Now you can have Clement bunt the next hitter, the next hitter bunt the ball, the runner over to third base, and now you force the Dodgers with Jimenez hitting. You're gonna have to. Are you going to bring the infield in, or are you going to leave them back? And then definitely a mental mistake by Barger last night, getting doubled off second base. You have to make sure that the ball hits the ground there on that play, this one right here. You can't drift so far away you can't get back to the bag. Tough way to lose the ball game. And if they don't get doubled off, now you bring Springer up, who had 2 hits already in the ball game, with a chance to most certainly tie it, and who knows, maybe you have another Joe Carter situation.
Yeah, and you can feel it in the ballpark. I think people figured in the ninth something was happening, especially when they pulled Yamamoto with only 96 pitches thrown. They started pulling into that bullpen. Even bringing in Tyler Glasnow at one point, like, whoa, we thought he was, if anything, going to be a Game 7 starter. Either way, as a guy who's played, you've won, talk about how that was a gut punch of a loss. This team has been resilient, but is this potentially something too much to overcome, that they were just so close to being World Series champs last night? Could they overcome it?
Yeah, they can overcome it. Most certainly, as a former player, I can imagine last night in the clubhouse for a while. It was a great disappointment, and probably felt like they should have at least tied the game up in the ninth, if not won it. But after a while, you have to get through that. I know they will, or they probably by this morning. Now you're thinking about tonight's baseball game, and it's the seventh ball game. Winner take all the night. So they're going to come ready to play. And of course, the old veteran on the mound this evening for the Blue Jays. There's no greater competitor. So I like their chances this evening.
Yeah, Miles Straw said he was already in Game 7 mood in the clubhouse afterwards. He already had that look in his eyes. But obviously the Dodgers, they still exist. They're trying to repeat. It's very difficult to repeat, but, the Jays, they say the Jays lost to the Dodgers. I think that the Jays kind of beat themselves. If you're the Dodgers, they must be salivating a little bit, thinking that, hey, we can come back and we can hoist a trophy in Toronto.
Well, I'm sure they're tickled to death today to have a Game 7. But after the ball game last night, obviously they were very happy to have won that ball game, and they probably felt like we got off the hook because they had a real chance to tie it. And Springer was going to get a chance. If you don't get doubled off, we're going to have to face Springer again, who's been a tough out, and he's a veteran guy, had a lot of big hits throughout his career, especially in the postseason. So they feel like they got off the hook. And probably their attitude is this morning, hey, we won one last night that maybe we shouldn't have. So we like our chances going into the ball game tonight.
All right. So what did if you had a chance to come up to Toronto, go to the Rogers Center, talk to the boys in blue, Blue Jay Blue, what do you think you would tell John Schneider and company? What do they got to do to try to win this one and send Toronto into a frenzy like that it can?
Well, you mentioned earlier resilient, and they've been that, especially late in the season. They've been very resilient. So I would just say, look, you've been very resilient. I know you can bounce back this evening. If you just go out and play the way you've been playing, you have just as good a chance to win the ball game tonight as the Dodgers do.
Yeah. Yeah, and if it's not weird games, I feel like the Jays have been playing better. And so we'll see how things go with the home cooking. The Rogers Center could get loud.
It's going to be loud tonight. It's going to be crazy in that ballpark.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. All right, former Blue Jays player, world champ, Rance Mulliniks, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yes, sir.